So there's this left-wing gamer streamer guy with a very loud mouth and a big following. He's got blue hair. Perhaps you know him. His name is Destiny. That's not really his name, but it's his gamer name. And yeah, he's built up a huge following because he plays video games and shoots off his mouth about whatever he wants. And lately, over the last couple of years, he's made his way into the political debate sphere. He likes to debate people like Trent Horn about abortion, and that was ghoulish, actually. I suggest you watch it just so you can see what a morally bankrupt person Destiny is. But actually, you don't have to watch that debate. You just have to watch this. Destiny has decided that Charlie Kirk deserved to die. He deserved to be murdered, and he's not shying away from it. He's proud of it. So here he was on his latest stream saying just that, commenting on a video that he saw about Charlie Kirk's death. And well, I'll let Destiny tell you the next part.
Out the crime statistics?
Not exactly like
you need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't feel like there's any fear. Like, I don't know. It's like memes. It's just memes to everybody, I guess. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't care. I'm playing video games. Okay, I'm done today. I don't give a God, it's gonna be so fucking gay if I get killed in the next 2 months of I'm doing. Well, the cuck out here, please don't anybody make any actual the most cucked, weak ass bullshit ass speeches on my side. God, if it happens, holy shit, I'm gonna make a death note before I go out to go live and not. God, it's so cucked. It's so optics cucked.
All right, so that's Destiny. Profanity laden, but you caught the very beginning. You caught the very beginning about what Destiny thinks about conservatives in the public square.
Out the crime statistics?
Not exactly like
you need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature.
There you go. You need conservatives to be afraid when they go to events. All right, so of course, he's outrageous, he's despicable, he's profane, he's disgusting, and he says things that will drive people insane and angry. He's dangerous. So, of course, Piers Morgan had him on the show. Of course he did. This is what Piers Morgan does. But what Destiny didn't realize was that he was going to run up against Jack Posobiec. Jack Posobiec, friend of the program here, friend of mine, not only a great conservative commentator, but also a personal friend of Charlie Kirk. Destiny should not have gone there with Jack Posobiec. We've got several clips here for you to watch, but most importantly, just like that last clip you just saw, the most important part of all of these clips about Destiny is that Destiny is saying out loud what I believe most of these talking heads, most of these liberals, most of these activists are thinking inside, but they're just not unplugged and uncensored enough to say it out loud. Destiny doesn't care. So now listen very carefully to what he has to say.
You've been quite active on social media since Charlie Kirk's death. When Erica Kirk posted Charlie's coffin, you responded, she tagged him, brackets, crying face emojis. In response to Alina Haber's tweet ordering people to fly their flags at half-mast in memory of Charlie, you posted on X buying flags and poles just to fly them fully erect. And you then posted yesterday, ending every conservative debate call out I do in 2026 with don't dodge, bro. That's not what Charlie would have wanted. Do you think that your response to the cold-blooded murder of Charlie Kirk has been appropriate?
Yes. I think that the only way this country moves forward into a better world is when conservatives can finally realize that they need to turn the temperature down on their side. We are 10 years into whatever this Trump madness is, and there is not a single mainstream conservative that will call for a lowering of the temperature on their side. I think that liberals need to wake up and finally realize that if they're not willing to do it, it will never come down. If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term. Every time he's in office, this happens. People joked about when Biden came in, it was so boring, nothing was going on. 7 out of 10 of the largest protests in American history have happened under Donald Trump. all of the recent political violence that's happened in this country over the past 20 years, the majority of it, the overwhelming majority of it, everybody gets mad because they keep asking Grok about it, has been conservative.
Who shot Charlie Kirk?
A guy from Utah who was raised in a Christian family, who was a 22-year-old
guy
white
described.
dude. He wasn't trans. He didn't have a
Destiny.
trans girlfriend. He didn't have any trans influences. He didn't have any trans bullets. Yeah, I'm sorry. You guys were wrong on all of that.
To be clear, the governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, has made it clear that their investigation has now established that he had been radicalized by a leftist ideology, which drove him to do this. That's just
I'm sorry. Excuse me. When?
Yesterday, he said that.
No. When was he radicalized? In the 6 months that he did remote college?
I don't know when he was radicalized, but I do know.
What you just said
I do know the very reasonable sounding
true.
governor of Utah has made it clear that the
he hasn't made it
you may
clear.
not want
He
to
said
hear
this.
this.
Is an ongoing investigation.
You may not want to hear it, Destiny.
It,
but the reality is, the investigators, according to the governor of Utah, have established that he was radicalized to a leftist ideology that drove him to murder Charlie Kirk. Now, let me just ask you.
That's just not true.
Let me just
There's
ask
no
you.
way to deal with it.
Okay,
You're living in a
accusing the governor of lying.
Yeah.
That's your prerogative. But
sure.
If it turns out to have been somebody with a leftist ideology who wanted to shut up Charlie Kirk, would you condemn that?
I won't condemn anything until the president of the United States can go on air and say, all of us need to calm down.
So you won't condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk until Donald Trump says something.
I'm a YouTuber. Leftists and Democrats have been condemning and turning down the temperature, condemning violence, turning down the temperature for a decade. Donald Trump can't go on TV and say, all of us need to calm down.
Right.
Can you tell me why he cannot?
Why would you expect anybody, Destiny?
You can't answer that. Can you answer that question? Why can't Trump
you
go
answer
on TV
this
and say,
question?
all of us should be less violent.
Why do you
can't
think?
Trump say that?
Why do you think?
Your behavior contingent on Donald Trump?
Insane right now.
Why do you think?
No,
let me ask a question.
On Donald Trump?
Let me ask a question.
Because he's the president of the United States of America and the leader of the
Destiny. Let me
you have a huge audience of young men who listen to everything you have to say. So when it doesn't matter. You have a huge audience, and because of the fact that you have a huge audience, you have a responsibility to not turn. No, it hasn't. It hasn't been broken. I actually care about the country and want to bring people together. You do the opposite. You represent the worst of us, Destiny.
All right. That's why Piers Morgan has these people on, because he lives and dies by that kind of conflict. He wanted the screaming. He got it. That's Anna Kasparian, by the way, from Young Turks, a woman of the left who, at the very least, can call out some of the most odious on her own side. But you heard what he said at the beginning. I let it play for quite some time. The very beginning was the most important comment. If you wanted Kirk alive, you shouldn't have elected Donald Trump. If you wanted Charlie Kirk alive, you shouldn't have elected Donald Trump. That's what they think. First of all, they blame Trump, and they blame conservatives, and they blame right-wingers. They always do. Liberal Democrat gets murdered, it's Trump and the conservatives' fault. A conservative, Trump-loving Republican gets murdered, it's Trump and the conservatives' fault. It's amazing. It's really quite liberating to be a leftist in this country, isn't it? And rarely is that kind of mentality challenged. Good for Anna, by the way. It's a great point for her to say, what are you going to say this? Or are you going to say that? No, I won't say anything until Trump does. Why is your morality contingent on what Donald Trump does? And by the way, did Destiny, he was funnier when he had blue hair, I think. And when he was getting, you notice in the first clip, he kept saying, oh, it's so cucked. It's so cucked. He would know. He would know if you are familiar with Destiny, this streaming gamers history, which most of my audience probably isn't. But you can do a quick search about Destiny and his wife and a man they brought into the relationship. You'll see. They had an open relationship for a while, right up until the divorce, because it was so open that she kind of liked how open it was. So it's kind of funny to watch Destiny now without his blue hair comment on other things being cucked. He would know. But what was the one thing that he kept saying? That the left in America has been tamping down the rhetoric for a decade now, but it's never demanded of the right. Once again, I just want to keep reminding you.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. But there's no question that the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans. And that is a threat to this country. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards to an America where there is no right to choose, no right to privacy, no right to contraception, no right to marry who you love. Trump and the extreme MAGA Republicans quote a clear and present danger to our democracy. But while the threat to American democracy is real, I want to say as clearly as we can, we are not powerless in the face of these threats.
Yeah, so that's the example of the left and their leader up until about 9 months ago, tamping down and cooling down the rhetoric in this country. He is using the bully pulpit of the United States of America, the presidency of the United States, with the seal of the president right in front of him, and 2 Marines in silhouette behind him with a building bathed in blood red light, saying that MAGA Republicans, which means you, if you voted for or supported President Trump, are an existential threat to this country, but we're not powerless. We got to do something about them. Yeah, way to tamp down that rhetoric. Don't buy any of this crap that they're selling you. They cannot make their points. They cannot make any legitimate political point right now in the public arena without lying, without deceiving you, and without gaslighting. And we're here to call bullshit on all of it. All right. The Piers Morgan segment continued, though. Again, I want to remind you, Destiny's first point was, if you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, you shouldn't have voted for Donald Trump. Yeah, that's the extortion at play here. There will not be peace in the streets as long as you elect the person that we hate. And if you think it ends with Trump, you're kidding yourself. So the segment continues.
Household? Why would Cornel West walk out on a debate when we're literally talking about the importance of speech? Makes no sense to me.
If speech is important, then the president should exercise it more cautiously.
So should you.
And Republicans have been. You can't stop.
You've got millions of followers, and you think it's fine to show them you're mocking a widow.
You cannot choose for your opponent not to fight you.
Fine.
If Republicans won't turn down the rhetoric, then who cares? Donald Trump should have used the rhetoric that led her to be killed. 2 days before she dies.
Who cares that you mocked a grieving widow?
I hope you caught that. I'm going to play it again because they're talking over each other, because it's the Piers Morgan panel. But what she said about Erica Kirk, the widow here, is that if you didn't want your husband to die, Donald Trump shouldn't have used the rhetoric that he did. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said. Here, take a listen. It's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault.
You're mocking a widow.
You cannot choose for your opponent not to fight you.
Fine.
If Republicans won't turn down the rhetoric, then who cares? Donald Trump shouldn't have used the rhetoric that led her to be killed.
Donald Trump shouldn't have used the rhetoric that led him to be killed. This is what they believe. This is who they are. I'm not going to pound the table and tell you how outraged I am. Frankly, I find it refreshing that he's saying it out loud. Sadly, what really is haunting and terrifying about this is that you and I both have people in our lives that we probably work with, maybe even work for. Maybe we have in-laws that we have to sit and play pleasant with at Thanksgiving dinner. And we certainly have people on our Facebook pages who believe that in their hearts. They just don't say it out loud the way Destiny does. That's why this is so instructive for us. Let's keep watching, shall we? Because if you can see Jack Posobiec there in the box right next to Piers Morgan, he's ready. He's just let him loose, man. Let him off the leash, and he's ready to go. He's about to go. Let's just get ready for it.
2 days before she dies,
cares that you mocked a grieving widow?
This is all. It's just virtue signaling. You guys are excited about it. You guys love it.
How is it? How is it that you said this guy can't possibly be a leftist?
It's exciting to you. It's insane to me.
Yeah. No, how is it that you said this guy can't be a leftist because he grew up in a white Christian household when you grew up in a white Christian household by your own admission just now, and you're a leftist, Destiny?
I'm
Can you explain that
36
to me?
years old. This guy was 22 and he lived at home.
What does that have to do with
basically his entire
anything?
life.
What does that have to do with
Because
anything?
I had 20 years to separate myself from my parents' ideology. I didn't live with them still. Jesus.
So 6 months, 1 year, 20 years? Why does it matter how long it took to separate? You just got to say it was impossible. And you yourself are a leftist who grew up in a Christian conservative household, dude.
That's right. It's a great point. It's a very, very good point. I assure you, I have 4 children, and they all have different politics, and I assure you they were all raised in the same household. It's a moronic statement that you're hearing from the left, but they're using it. The people as superior and vaunted as the New York Times and your broadcast networks will say in very serious tones, well, he did grow up in a white conservative Christian household. As if that matters about an individual's politics. Okay, time for it's Posobiec time. He's been keeping his powder dry. He's been waiting. Let's go.
I mean, Piers, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You know, this type of ideology where you've got someone who's willing to mock Erica, who's been standing strong for her family, for her children, who's just, she will never be able to grow old with Charlie. She will never be able to be with them again, have more children, to have grandchildren, to have those memories, to raise them. It's all gone. Every single moment of that future that they had was gone because someone fired a bullet at Charlie Kirk that said, "Hey, fascist, catch." And now you have people celebrating it. And when you ask people
That's
about
not even
it,
the
they
bullet
say,
that was fired.
"Oh,
How are you lying about this?
Shut
even?
up, Destiny.
Holy
Shut up.
You're so
Shut
shameless,
up.
dude. Oh my God. You're not even inside the right bullet. You're such a disgusting
Piers.
piece of shit. Holy
What a
Piers.
pedantic
Are we-
point. What a
are we
It's not
even gonna do
pedantic.
this?
This guy's a
It's
professional
total
liar.
pedantry.
It's
Epic
total
and base.
pedantry. Total
This guy
pedantry.
probably
I would like to let
Jesus.
Jack. I would like to let Jack finish his point, please.
Yeah,
and
it's just
and
rant
they'll
here,
claim there's no leftist connection. They'll claim there's no there and then go so far as to lie and say there's some kind of Christian conservative connection when you could see the writing on the bullet casings. And so you know, these are very common symbols associated, whatever. The point is, right, it should be very, very clear. Are we connected with our humanity or are we not?
Well said, Jack. And that's exactly who we're up against. And for those of you who are thinking, oh, Destiny's an outlier, he doesn't represent anything, and Ilhan Omar is an outlier and she doesn't represent anything, and this person or that person, and this school board member or this teacher or this doctor or this judge, that's just all outliers. They don't represent anything. That's not what's happening. One last video for you today so you can see, you know, I keep saying, how did we get here? How did we get here? And I pointedly continue to show you this video of the former president of the United States, the leader of the Democrat Party, spending an entire speech dehumanizing half of America, the America in the majority. You know, when they call the majority the fringe extremists, you know that they've got a problem. I've been showing you this video. How did we get here? How did we get here? How did this happen? This is how we got here. But there's another way that we've got here. It's about how we're teaching our children. Well, how some parents are teaching their children. Look at these 2 little girls, perfect, normal, suburban little girls getting raised in a household, and they love Taylor Swift. And their mother wanted to capture their reaction on video about how excited they were that Taylor Swift got engaged. So watch what happened.
I have the best news ever.
What? Donald Trump died?
Second best news.
The vice president died?
Okay, third best news.
That Elon Musk died?
Okay, no. Nobody died. My best friend's getting married.
Which one is it?
Taylor Swift! Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got engaged!
All right, now, first of all, forget about the mental illness involved with a mother of 2 children, a middle-aged woman, thinking that Taylor Swift is her best friend. Right there, we need to have an intervention of some sort and call in some authorities and maybe look at Child Protective Services. But secondly, not only is that demented, what you just saw with those 2 little girls, immediately instinct, the best thing happened. Oh, Donald Trump died? No, the second best thing. J.D. Vance died? Okay, third best. Elon Musk. At no point did the mother of these 2 children say, that's a terrible thing to say. That wouldn't be a good thing. That would be a horrible thing. No. She giggled about it. The other important thing that you need to understand and that we all need to come to grips with as we think, oh, Destiny's an outlier and that judge is an outlier and Ilhan Omar is an extremist, but that's not really representative of the mainstream of thought in the Democrat Party or the political left in America. Understand this more than anything else. Yes, that's an atrocious video when you see that these two little innocent girls are being raised in a home by parents who would encourage and celebrate that kind of behavior. And that imagine what they hear in the household on a regular basis to reach the point where as a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, they even say that out loud. Imagine what they hear on a daily, minute-by-minute basis in that household. And that's bad enough. But we really have to be plugged in on and attuned with is the worst thing about that video you just saw. The worst thing about it is that the mother then posted it on her social media because she thought it was great. That's where we are right now. And we are very wide awake.